We just got 2 new trailers for SpongeBob Rehydrated, one for the robots and the other showcasing the new multiplayer mode. So let's dive right into it. How's it going, everyone? Blueknight here, and welcome back to another SpongeBob Rehydrated video. And today we're back to breaking down not 1, but 2 new trailers for the game. Yeah, I'm running a little bit behind, but hopefully I can catch up after this. One of the new trailers is for the robots, while the other one focuses on the new multiplayer mode and characters that are playable within. So, without further ado, let's dive right into this breakdown. Starting with the robots trailer, which is basically the robot viewer machine inside the game's police station. The big differences here being the wall is now greenish in color when the machine is activated rather than blue, which I think is a really nice detail. I mean, there's a glowing machine, so why wouldn't your wall be green? Just a thought. The design of the machine itself has been updated to be, more modern in appearance, but the names of the robots have been moved off of the screen to be placed right on top of the robot instead. I'm personally not bothered by this. However, this could very well be just for trailer purposes. As for the screen not showing the info for the respective robots, instead we just see them appearing in various levels. I mean, that part is nice, but I think having it as an attached option on this machine would be a better choice. Like, say you're reading the robot's bio, and then you press a certain button, and voila, a video reel for the bot would start playing. That's just how I'd imagine it working. The robots themselves, when they're selected in this machine, we can see a tiny glimpse at their transition from, I guess, a digital form to their actual form. They now have this little fire under them when selected. In the original, it was just a glow, but I honestly like both. Also, each robot has been given new lively animations compared to being sort of static in the original, but my personal favorite of these new animations is of the Bzzzt bot. I mean, look at how happy he looks about pulling his handle and zapping anyone that even dares come close to him. And even Bombot has this bounce to him now. Just look at how much he's looking forward to causing trouble. G-Love this time around, he no longer has his front 2 hands together like he's plotting something. Instead, all the hands just sort of go up and down, but they don't hang down as far as the original. His front 2 antennas have been completely removed in favor of 1 antenna on top of G-Love's new eye/sensor. I'm not entirely too sure what that is, to be honest, but I'm just going to call it an eye. Then we got good old Fodder. Here we can see that his eye is green, but just as with the other robots, the eyes can turn red when in attack mode. Fodder now has an antenna compared to the original, and it's also green. Now we arrive at Chuck. First of all, he looks a lot more menacing than the original. Secondly, this is his idle animation, not his attack mode animation like in the original. But if we look at the gameplay on the screen next to him, we can see a quick glimpse at Chuck's recreated intro cutscene, same for G-Love. But what we can make out from this footage is bits and pieces of the Murmelair, the Flying Dutchman's Graveyard, Kelp Forest, and others. There's not a whole lot to really make out here, but in one of these bits from the Dutchman's Graveyard, we can see a quick glimpse at the goo tanker. Yeah, it's much lighter in color now than the original. Now, speaking of golden spatulas, I actually overlooked this in the previous video for the Rock Bottom trailer. In the very front of the museum, we can now see a golden spatula that glows. Whereas in all the previous pieces of footage that we've seen, they have not glown one time. So they are still working on these things. And as a reminder, this is not the final build. It's close, but not final. And yeah, that's about it concerning the robots trailer. So let's shift gears into the new multiplayer trailer. Now, there's not particularly a whole lot for me to really say about this, other than that it looks really fun. We do get to see a bit more of how this mode works. Obviously, when you finish multiple waves of enemies on the respective island, you can progress to the next island via a bunch of floating debris. Now, I would assume that you would keep doing this until you reach the very last island, where I'd assume you'll fight Robo-Squidward inside this factory-looking place, like in the original game's concept art. And what I personally find funny about all of this is that the debris is like where they dumped all the destroyed robots and stuff, like Robo-Spongebob, who looks a bit under-textured compared to the boss battle. Just looks really weird, but funny at the same time. Oh yeah, there's that MuscleBob arm. I don't know if this is outright confirmation of the cut MuscleBob Squarepants boss being included, so we'll leave it at that. But we do get to finally see how they incorporated the cut Patrick stream level into the multiplayer mode, and honestly this does change things up a little bit, as it's basically a weird level, just as with the actual dream levels. And finally, we get to see all the playable characters in action: SpongeBob, Patrick, Sandy, Squidward, Robo-Plankton, Gary, who uses the shoes from the Your Shoes Untied episode, and Mr. Krabs, who uses the skeleton fish head as a sword from the One Krabs Trash episode. Okay, that's a pretty darn good reference. It's perfect. And honestly, if they went to the trouble of making these characters playable for the multiplayer mode, then I can easily see them being playable in the sequel if it ever happens. Well, maybe except for Robo-Plankton, I think he's had his time. Last two things I should mention before ending the video. If you remember when I covered the Robo-Patrick boss and pointed out that the goo now has red targets on the ground to, I assume, make things easier, well, they're doing the exact same thing with both the Chuck and Tartar bots. And finally, we get to the music. Both of these trailers had two pieces of music. The first trailer featured Poseidon, and the second trailer featured SpongeBob's Dream. Now, I'm going to play both the original and rehydrated versions of both of these tracks side by side so you can hear the comparison between both of them. Take a listen. And yeah, that's going to be about it for this video. So what do you guys think about these two new trailers? Be sure to let me know down in the comment section below, and also be sure to stay tuned to the channel for more SpongeBob Rehydrated news as it happens. Once again, thank you all so much for watching and supporting the channel. I've been Blueknight, and I'll see you guys back here next time. Goodbye!